السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, before we get started with the Q&A tonight, there's a book here on my desk which is called الموقظة في علم مصطلح الحديث للإمام الحافظ المحدث المؤرخ شمس الدين محمد بن أحمد الذهبي. ولد وتوفي سنة 748 للهجرة رحمه الله تعالى. طيب, one of the books on علم الحديث or علم أصول الحديث or علم مصطلح الحديث, which is oftentimes slept on and neglected and not mentioned and skipped and overlooked, is this book. Rather, one could possibly say the books of Al-Dhahabi rahimahullah ta'ala in general. It's very paradoxical, extremely paradoxical, that Hafidh bin Hajar rahimahullah ta'ala's great legacy overshadowed, dwarfed the legacy of Al-Dhahabi in the kathirin, among many, not all. The true heads know what's up. I understand? The true heads, the true students, the true shuyukh of hadith, they know. But we're talking about in general, no doubt. Hafidh bin Hajar's legacy on all aspects. Mustalah, Nukhbat Fikr, Nusat Nazar, Nukat, okay, his Kutub al-Rijal, Mizan al-I'tidal, Tahdhib al-Tahdhib, Taqrib al-Tahdhib, etc., etc. His Tarajim versus Dhahabi's legacy. It's very paradoxical that Hafidh bin Hajar rahimahullah ta'ala came after Dhahabi and looked up to and idolized Al-Dhahabi. In a well-known narration, they say that Hafidh bin Hajar, he drank Zamzam once, and he said, Sa'altullaha aw da'awtullaha hifd al-Dhahabi. Based off of the hadith, Ma'u Zamzam, lima shuriba lah. The Zamzam water is for whatever you drink it. Whatever you drink it for, you make your dua, that's what it's for. So they said that Hafidh bin Hajar, he was drinking his Zamzam water, and he said, I asked Allah to give me the hifd of Al-Dhahabi rahimahullah ta'ala. Then he said, ثُمَّ وَقَفْتُ لَهُ عَلَى أَوْهَامٍ فَعَرَفْتُ أَنَّ فَضْلَ اللَّهِ أَوْسَعْ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. He says, and then I continued my studies, and I saw that Imam Hafidh Al-Dhahabi, there were many awham, different mistakes, different errors, different things that were found in his writings. And I knew that Allah's bounty was bigger than that. Allahu Akbar. There was no need for me to be stuck trying to be like one man who's clearly imperfect, and Allah's bounty is what? Greater than that. So the paradoxical thing is that Dhahabi rahimahullah ta'ala came before Ibn Hajar. Ibn Hajar looked up to Al-Dhahabi, but for one reason or another, Ibn Hajar's books what? Overshadowed Dhahabi's legacy. To many, not all. What? Not all. But true students of Hadith, true learners and researchers of Hadith, they know the potency of Al-Dhahabi rahimahullah ta'ala's legacy on all aspects and in all fronts. Right? Whatever Dhahabi's book may be. Al-Mughni fi al-Du'afa, right? Mizan al-I'tidal, مثلا. تاريخ الإسلام, let alone فضلا عن سير أعلام النبلاء وهكذا, right? The other books of Dhahabi as well. What's important is, when it comes to Mustalah al-Hadith, most people, they'll mention Ba'ith al-Hadith, Ikhtisar ulum al-Hadith, Nuzhat al-Nadar, Alfi al-Suyuti, Alfi al-Iraqi, blah, here. And not often will you find them mentioning what? Al-Muqidha. That is a fact. And that's very unfortunate. And it's your study of ilm al-mustalah, if that's going to be your methodology of studying those traditional classic books, is going to be very flawed and lacking. And Al-Dhahabi rahimahullah ta'ala, like any other book, he's going to come with his exclusive style and those benefits that he brings that other people don't bring the way that he brings them. So Al-Muqidha is one of the must-read books if you're studying ilm al-mustalah in that manner. And I would humbly say, wallahu alam, it's a book that you're going to study definitely after Nuzhatun Nazar. The sharh, the most important explanation of Nukhbat al-Fikr, Ibn Hajar's own explanation, and before perhaps Ikhtisar Ulum al-Hadith of Ibn Kathir, maybe even after. So it's considered to be a book that is above and beyond the beginner's level, not advanced 100%, but there are many advanced elements therein. Semi-intermediate, moving forward to the introductory levels of advanced when it comes to this style of book and these types of books. Al-Muhim, Al-Muqidha, something that a student of hadith should have in his library. It's something that you should try to memorize if you can, or study it, get the explanation of it, the explanations that are online, that are in book form, if you can, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, for one who is studying ilm al-mustalah. And also, no doubt, a very good introduction for ilm al-rijal. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Khair, inshallah. If there are any questions here tonight from the brothers, we'll try to take them. And if not, we'll see what we have online. Abu Abdul Warith, tafaddal.
Jazakallahu khair.
Wa yakum.
What would you say about an individual who values commitments to the point that for 2 hours, 3 hours for sleep, if he has to be up for work, he's up. No coffee needed. But then, even offer more sleep, what's lacking in him or in his understanding if, let's say, it's time for Fajr, but he doesn't feel the same
drive?
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate that a person has that amount of drive and passion and ability to sacrifice and to relinquish a basic need. Sleep is a basic function of a human for dunya. Or you'll find some brothers, for example, when it comes to giving their word, which is a good thing, making a promise, they'll break their backs, make sure never ever to break their promise to be there for you, to help you out. But when it comes to something for the deen, they don't even pray, as an example. So I think that is a crisis of priority, and I think that is wasted energy. That's resource that's being used on something that could be channeled or funneled into something bigger and better. So the person needs to be reminded that that's a good thing to have. It's a good quality, good characteristic, but it needs to be channeled properly. The irrigation of the water it can't just go right here to this one garden, but it needs to go to the other places that are even more of greater need of that water. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Jazakallahu khairan. You have the bass, Hamza?
Bass? No.
The salsa.
I don't know what happened.
طيب خير إن شاء الله. تفضل.
So what would you say a person needs to know about their commitment to Allah?
About their commitment to Allah?
Now, let's say, if I can rephrase, if a person can see the other individual that they made a promise to, how should, in a person's mind and a person's heart, how should they view their relationship with Allah? I don't know if my question.
Understood. No, it's clear. It's clear. Well, first and foremost is the reminder, man jadda wajada. First and foremost is the reminder, the reminder that we all need, starting with myself. We're only living and breathing to worship Allah. And everything else is secondary. Everything else. Wife, children, school, work, sleep, eating, your skin, your muscles, your health, cancer, diabetes, your hair, everything else is at best secondary. So we need that brutal wake-up call. Is that the only reason why Allah gave you life is to make ibadah of Him, is to praise Him, and is to remember Him abundantly. So we need to be reminded. That's number one. Number two is, how bad do you feel when you break your promise, or when you're late for work, when you don't put forth your best? You feel bad. That's a natural characteristic in you. So what would the case be with Allah? How would you feel if you knew that Allah was angry with you? How does it feel to let someone down, to upset someone? So what do you think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So I think that comparison needs to be made for them to get the point. Wallahu ta'ala alam. From online, Hamza.
And it shows I in Ottawa, Canada. How can we get past an addiction that we really struggle with?
Addiction. May Allah help all of us. a part of the addiction, of course, and I think the most important part is the spiritual aspect, especially for a Muslim. But there are other elements to addiction and to getting free and breaking free from addiction. There's the mental, and there's also, with some types of addictions, the physical. So therefore, starting off with the spirit. Whatever you're addicted to is causing you to be a slave of other than Allah. It's causing you to think about something more than Allah. It's causing you to fear something more than Allah. It's causing you to love something, etc., etc. So you need to be woken up and reminded. And also the purification of the soul, tazkiyah. You need to clean yourself. You got very, very dirty. You've been dirty for a long time, habitually. You need to wash and scrub. Okay? Even if you can't do it yourself, you need to allow those who are around you, who care about you, to do it for you. To force you to take a shower, force you to wash up, force you to get clean. And of course, there's the mental aspect with regards to addiction, with regards to the habit, with regards to lunacy. I'm tired of the bad effects of this addiction. I'm tired of suffering, but I keep doing the same thing. I put forth the same actions and look for a different result. That in itself is the essence of lunacy, of being a lunatic. And this is one of the biggest struggles of anyone overcoming an addiction. They're tired. What the drugs did to my wife, my family, my kids, right? My work, my social life, my skin, my hair, my teeth, the opportunity that I had, etc., etc., my potential, my talent. I'm tired of living like this. But the next day I'm going to wake up and do the exact same thing. I'm not going to make any effort. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to try to change. I'm just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to wait for some magical results to be different. That's proof that the aql is totally twisted and bent. And thirdly, the physical aspect. A person may be addicted to a thing, and it causes them physical pain when they're away from it, withdrawal. A person may be addicted to a substance or a practice because they're lacking another source of it, which is licit or legit or lawful, legal, wahakada, right? So I think you have to check all of those boxes. And first and foremost, of course, before anything, is dua in abundance with sincerity. A serious dua with sincerity. And of course, the clinical help, the professional help, Islam is not against that. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Joshua Thomas, Baltimore, Maryland. Can one woman pray behind one non-mahram man, not in jama'ah?
Praying behind a non-mahram man, not in jama'ah? I don't understand the question.
Initials AJ, Cincinnati, Ohio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. هل يصح أن يقال بأن كل أهل البدعة خالدا في النار أو هل في فرق بين العوام والعلماء؟
هذا لا يصح على الإطلاق أبدا. المبتدع صاحب البدعة لا شك هو متوعد كسائر العصاة وسائر الفساق وسائر المخالفين. يعني بغض النظر عن سبب المعصية أو سبب مخالفة فسق بدعة، يعني خروج عن طاعة الله وعدم التسليم لأمر الله. ما هو؟ فالعاصي، العبد العاصي، العبد الفاسق متوعد، سواء شارب الخمر أو هو مثلا زان أو هو صاحب بدعة. طبعا المعاصي تختلف، هناك ما هو أسوأ، هناك ما هو أشد، هناك ما هو أقبح، هناك كبائر والصغائر طبعا. لكن العبد العاصي الفاسق متوعد بالنار. أما نحن نجزم ونقول بأنه مخلد في النار فلا، هذا خطأ. الله عز وجل ذكر: ومن قتل مؤمنا متعمدا فجزاؤه جهنم. أكملوا. المهم هذا في قتل المؤمن، القتل العمد. أما السائر يعني المعاصي والذنوب والمخالفات ومن يعص الله فهذا شيء. لكن يعني عموما لا نجزم بأن هذا الشخص بعينه خالد أبدا، هذا خطأ. هذا خطأ. أما هل هناك فرق بين الداعية إلى البدعة وبين العام التابع المقلد يعظم شيوخه أو هو من بلد أو منطقة وهذا بيئة البلد هكذا يعني يتعبدون تعلم غير يعني عالم غير داعي. طبعا هناك فرق، وأهل العلم أهل الحديث فرقوا في الأخذ عن المبتدع الداعي وغير الداعية، لابد من هذا والله تعالى أعلم. ومن الخطأ يعني للأسف الشائع في الساحة الدعوية التعميم والإطلاق وعدم التفرقة، ويعاملون كل من قال بمقولة وكل من خالف معاملة واحدة، وهذا قد أضرت الدعوة والله تعالى أعلم.
Officials EM Philadelphia PA. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Could you please describe any notable etiquettes of the hour after Maghrib?
Notable etiquette hour after Maghrib? Well, first and foremost, you're going to make your adhkar for the evening. You're going to seek Allah's refuge and protection at nightfall. There are authentic hadith with regards to taking your children in and not allowing them outside of the house until after some time. فَإِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ تَنْتَشِرُ حِينَئِذٍ, whereas the demons and the devils are spread at that time. Things like this. إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. Just actually thinking like, wow, that's crazy. SubhanAllah, it's dark, but it was just light. It was just hot. Now it's just like that. يَطْرُبُهُ حَثِيثًا. Right? The sun and the moon, how quickly they switch, just like that. It's like an on and an off switch. It's amazing. So there are general things to do and specific things to do. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
Initials A, B, and Antwerp, Belgium. Any advice for someone who lost their desire and will to seek knowledge after 5 years? I want to study, but it's very heavy on me.
Someone who lost their will and desire to seek knowledge. Tawbah. From the punishments of sins is a person loses his taste and his appetite for khair in general, let alone the greatest khair, which is knowledge and the seeking of ilm, and the thirst and the appetite for knowledge. So you have to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah to forgive you for your sins and to protect you from going back to those sins. Also, it's like a relationship, it's like a marriage. You have to remind yourself how you initially fell in love. When things are, going a little rough with your wife, you guys argue, you have some bitter feelings, so on and so forth. Sit down and think how beautiful she was when you first saw her, when you first met her, when you first got married, how happy you were, how deeply you were in love, how she made you feel, how you forgot about everything. That hakad al-ilm. Think about the first time when you tasted the knowledge, when you realized there was Bukhari, when you went overseas, when you sat in a class, how'd you feel, how hype you were. So you need to remind yourself of that. Right? An anniversary, right? Reminisce, right? About the romance with knowledge. And the deeper you think, inshallah ta'ala, and the more you surround yourself with knowledge and the people who are seeking it, inshallah ta'ala, it'll come back. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Wallahu alam. Hamza.
Ahsanallahu alaykum. How to learn discipline?
How to learn discipline? Practice. You can read this book, you can sit with this person, you can hear this story, you can watch this documentary, but you gotta practice it yourself. You have to force yourself to discipline yourself by telling your nafs no, by making yourself do something. If it burns, if it hurts, if you're tired, if you're lazy, practice makes perfect. There's no special, mystical, philosophical way of doing it. No pain, no gain. Small steps, progressive steps. Every day making yourself a goal. I'm going to do this. I'm going to not do this. I'm going to minimize my portion. I'm going to lose this amount of sleep. I'm going to practice slowly. Inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu ta'ala adam. Wa yakum.
Initials YD, Brooklyn, New York. What's the ruling on AI generated images? You can generate realistic images of people or anything by telling it what you want the image to look like.
I've never seen it before. I don't have much experience with AI imagery, so I can't speak on it with so much detail. Perhaps it could be included in the Tasweer Muharram, especially if we're talking about artificial intelligence, imitating the human's mind, imitating what Allah naturally created, quote unquote naturally, obviously a problematic word. And somebody may say or think or feel that it is included in, like, it's been programmed with that has already been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah surely knows best. Stay away from it if you can. Wallahu a'lam. تفضل خليفة.
شيخ أنا أمس كنت في ولاية من ولايات أمريكا مضيت فيها نهارين وأصلي لكن لا أعرف أين القبلة هل يجب إعادة صلاتي؟
ليش؟
أنا قلت لك إني
صليت بالبارح بالأمس؟
إيه بالأمس
طيب.
كنت فوت فيها نهارين في ولاية من ولايات أمريكا لكن لا أعرف اسمها ولا أعرف أين القبلة لا صد
فهمت يعني
أصلي.
اجتهدت
هل
يعني
يجب
إذا طيب إذا ما تبين لك شيء لم يتبين لك خطأ يعني وجهت جهة خطأ
نعم.
لا تعيد الصلاة. أما إذا تبين لك بان لك أن القبلة فعلا في جهة أخرى فذا.
لا
إذا ما حصل لك شيء إذا ما حصل لك لا تعيد الصلاة لا تلتفت إليه. والله أعلم. تفضل.
In HK, Melbourne, Australia, what tea can you make to perfection? Are you willing to share the recipe?
What tea can I make to perfection? Am I willing to share the recipe? I don't think there's any tea that I can make to perfection. Perfection is a strong and heavy word. And it's a very subjective word. I may think it's blended to perfection. My taste buds, my palate. Another tea drinker, he may say, it's too this, it's too little, it's too... So, you know, as far as can I share some recipes, then yes, we have several videos and tutorials along with some recipe books on their way, inshallah ta'ala, for Mufti. Make sure you subscribe to Mufti YouTube channel, inshallah ta'ala, with regards to some recipes and tea tutorials. I have no problem sharing, inshallah. Wallahu alam.
Initials MS, Canada. Is it okay in Islam to be secluded, not mixing with people? Because most sisters are busy with TikTok, makeup, music, not wearing proper hijab, etc. And I'm
sorry, repeat the beginning of the question.
Is it okay in Islam to be secluded? I do not.
Right. What's important is some types of seclusion. Is it permissible to be secluded from people because people are busy with different things? Lawful or unlawful. Sometimes, yes, you can be secluded. And for some people, it may be best to be secluded. Of course, he who mixes with the people and is patient with them is better, as the hadith states. The scholars have differed on what's best. Al-uzla am al-mukhalata. Okay? على حسب الشخص. بعض الناس ما تصلح فيهم المخالطة. بعضهم يعني يكون في حقه الاعتزال. عزلة الناس أفضل في حق هذا. Okay? لا يتحمل. وبعضهم لابد أن يكون في الناس. يأمر، ينهى، ينصح، يعلم، يصحب، يعايش. So it depends on the person. In general, give the people advice. And of course, there are times and places in which you can't seclude yourself, such as Jumu'ah. You have to go. You have to pray. You have to pray in Jama'ah if you're a man. The Eid. No matter what the people are doing, TikTok or not, some things you have to be a part of. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Hamza.
So if a man prays this way, right? Is it the right thing to do is to go and move him?
If a person is praying incorrectly, to the incorrect direction, physically move him. Yes. Yes. That's from Nasiha for the Muslims. But obviously gently. Wallahu alam. And after the salah, you explain it to them. And oftentimes, even if you don't move them, you can say it to them verbally. It's lawful to speak to someone praying. تجوز مخاطبة المصلي. المصلي لا يخاطب. نعم. لا يتكلم هو. لكن يجوز ايش؟ يصغي ويسمع. You can say the qibla is to your left. You can turn. وهكذا, right? والله تعالى عالم. وإياكم.
How to deal with family members who are engaged in major bid'ah, worshipping graves, wearing amulets, etc. They are Tijaniya. They forbade you to make any comment about it.
Family members that are Tijaniya or whatever the case may be. Khalas, if you've given them advice, leave them be. Don't discuss religion. Don't talk about things like that. They're family members. That's it. If they want you to do something that you feel or know is wrong, stay away from it. Don't argue, don't fight. And if they're engaging, obviously we've seen tonight, Hamza, you may be minding your business and someone what? Engages you with an issue, forces their view upon you, just turn away from them. Turn away. Say something polite, Jazakallah khairan, Allah bless you, shukran. And obviously, I'm not saying that they're kuffar. However, it's the same philosophy of lakum dinukum waliya din. يعني لك طريقتك ولي طريقتي. لن نتفق، لن نرى يعني خلاص. لا أتكلم عليك ما أتكلم علي خلاص. And Allah يحكم بيننا. Allah will judge between all of us on the day of judgment. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initial AA Bronx, New York. Is giving allowance for wives obligatory?
Giving an allowance to your wife, is it obligatory? In general, you have to make nafaqah, as we explained before, nafaqatul wajiba, whether that's in a weekly form, monthly form, yearly form, or based off of if she needs or if she asks. In general, wallahu alam.
Initial JM Bronx, New York. Assalamu alaikum. Any advice for someone who's possessed by jinn? Can a person do ruqya on themselves or have someone do it? Can a spouse help to perform ruqya? And how? Barakallahu.
Wafikum barakallah. If a person is possessed by jinn, may Allah protect us all. First and foremost is you have to make sure that they're possessed by jinn. You may think that someone's possessed by jinn and they're not actually possessed by jinn. And the scholars of Islam mentioned there is a difference. هناك صرع، هناك مس، هناك مس شيطاني يعني يقل عن الصرع الصريح. Right? So the jinn taking possession of someone versus the jinn just touching you or bothering you. It's a difference. A wrestling match versus a grappling match versus a tussle. You know, somebody pushes you, you push, you know, versus he slammed you on the ground, put you in a headlock, Boston crab, tied you up, held you down and choked you. Versus he pushed you or he bumped into you. So first and foremost is you got to make sure that it's actually what? Jinn possession. And many people, they make a mistake automatically saying that he's possessed, and the person may not necessarily be possessed. And obviously, if you can't do that yourself, then that's done by someone with knowledge. As far as if a person is possessed by jinn, fi'lan, that's Allah al-afiyah, he's actually possessed by jinn, then I would say if the jinn have possessed you, you need professional help. A professional raqi. I'm not saying that the ruqya that you do upon yourself won't help. But if it's إذا بلغ بك يعني الأمر إلى أنك يعني أنت مصروع, then that's obviously a proof that your protection and your self-defense was too what? Right? Wallahu alam. So therefore, I would go to someone who's a professional raqi. What's the card we got, huh? كذا أعطاني. أيوة رقية شرعية. الله أكبر. Please leave a message. Jinn, demons, problems. Treatment of black magic and envy from Holy Quran. Allahu Akbar. Take a picture. As far as how is the ruqya done, then there are different levels and different types of ruqya. The ruqya could be general, reciting the Quran, reciting the supplications. And there is a specific ruqya with regards to al-mu'awwadhatayn, spitting in one's palm lightly, wiping one's head, one's body. Ayatul Kursi, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينَ. Okay. Surah Al-Safat. The end of Surah Ibrahim. Different parts of the Quran that are proven to be highly effective with regards to that. Bismillah arqika min kulli ma yu'dhika wa min kulli aynin hasidin Allahu yashfika. Okay. So on and so forth was mentioned in detail of the specific manner of ruqya. And of course, you can learn things by yourself, you can do things by yourself, but there's nothing that takes the place of a professional. Nothing. In all aspects of life. And oftentimes you have the same knowledge that the professional has, but the professional knows what to look for. He knows what to listen for. He knows he's thinking outside of the box that you're not even aware of. Like let's say for example, an exterminator. A person is a pest exterminator. Everybody knows I got mice in my house. The mice, they eat through things, they rip through things, they leave drop-ins, they're dirty, they're unclean, so on and so forth. The bottom line is I either gotta kick the mice out or kill the mice. Right? Glue trap, poison, old-fashioned trap, peanut butter, cheese, etc. That's knowledge. Everybody knows that. So first and foremost is preventing the mice from coming into my house. Common sense. If they're already there, is what? Kick them out. If they can't be kicked out, kill them. But the exterminator, the moment he walks into your house, he's going to look in this corner. He's going to look behind this thing. He's going to look up here. You have a hole here. You have this there. He's going to tell you that trap is a waste of time. He has experience. So there's nothing that you can do to match his knowledge and experience and know-how, let alone talent. So you need a professional Raqi. Wallahu alam. Next question.
Initial CB, Brooklyn, New York. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa rahmatuka fillah. Ya Mufti, after I came to the masjid and a brother prayed with me, the brothers that prayed with me were late. When I finished the salah, I faced them as that.
Well, how much khushu' did he have in the salah? As soon as he slammed out what? You get what? Like, seriously, like, I'm burning with anger. I gotta, may Allah help us all. Fadal.
After I came to the masjid,
He was praying next to you, Sheikh. Fadal.
And a brother prayed with me. The brothers that prayed with me were late. When I
Repeat
finished
the question, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Najib CB from Brooklyn, New York. Uhibbuka fillah, ya Mufti. After I came to the masjid and a brother prayed with me. The brothers that prayed with me were late. When I finished the salah, I faced them as they were finishing the salah, as they were in sujood. What should I do? Stay facing them or turn my back to them?
You were the imam in the salah. Do you turn around? That's the gist of the question?
And they were basically in sujood, facing
Kif, yani.
behind them. They had to get up and finish. They turned around. They were completing the salah.
They prayed behind him late. They came in late.
Yeah.
They prayed behind him. Then after he finished,
They were making up what they missed.
and he turned around
And
he was
faced
making
him.
sujood. Yeah, and he faced them, and they made sujood.
Okay.
Like,
Towards him.
Mm-hmm.
فهمت. طيب خير إن شاء الله. أحبك الذي أحببتني فيه. جزاك الله خيرا. May Allah love you as well. The sunnah is when the imam finishes the prayer is to turn and face the jama'ah. You start your adhkar. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam. Turn around and face the people. Obviously, everyone knows that you face the people directly. Not too many people know there are authentic narrations with regards to the right and the left. Scholars of Islam have mentioned the Prophet ﷺ turned on both sides, right side or the left side. So that's the sunnah. If the people were late and they're still making sujood and they happen to be making sujood towards you, inshallah, it's no problem. Inshallah, they're not praying towards you. You're not asking or requesting them to pray towards you. And even if you remain facing the Qibla, they still will be making sujood to you. Wallahu alam.
Initials HS
Sarajevo.
Sarajevo, Bosnia. Can you show us how to hold our finger during the shahwat? Is the narration that is mentioned about moving the finger authentic, or is it weak or odd?
Right. What's important is when you make the tashahhud, from the recommended acts of the prayer in general, is to point or move or shake or wiggle, point with your index finger on your right hand. Not necessarily obligatory or mandatory, recommended thing to do. And there are different styles which are generally authentic with regards to the fist, with regards to like this, different ways, different narrations. The qabda, how many times you're counting with your fingers. Balled up, index finger, middle finger, so on and so forth. And that's all optional. They're all optional. All right? As far as moving the finger, tahrik, and then the scholars of hadith, they differ on this. My humble studies have led me to believe that the narration regarding the moving and the wiggling of the finger to be weak. Riwayat shadha. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials HS Sarajevo, Bosnia. You say it's permissible to talk to someone who's praying. Is it still allowed for unimportant things, such as telling my sister while she's praying that dinner is ready?
Well, you're only going to talk to the musalli, the one praying for need, such as the qibla is to the right, or such as it's an emergency, hurry up and finish your prayer, or such as mathalan, You might have to correct someone in a salah. You're on the fifth rak'ah, Talib. I tell you. And there's some narrations, الحافظ الدار القطني رحمه الله تعالى يعني من عجيب حفظه وذكائه شدة ذكائه أنه كان يصلي بالليل يتهجد بالليل وهناك قراء هناك طلاب يقرؤون الأجزاء الحديثية فأخطأ أحدهم في القراءة تصحف فقرأ النون والقلم وما يسطرون يعني أن الصواب النون لا بالتاء والسين عرفت؟ أو أسماء الأنبياء مثلا شعيب ونوح وإبراهيم إذا تصحف القارئ تصحف في القراءة صححه بالقراءة عرفت كيف؟ وهو في الصلاة. Alright, what's important is that you're only going to speak to that person praying based off of need or necessity. As far as dinner's ready, you tell your sister like, yo, dinner's on the table. Don't recite Baqarah. Food is going to get cold. It's your favorite meal tonight, right? Khairan. You tell them to, hurry up. Inshallah, nothing wrong with that. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Sah? The cup, what? You gotta empty your cup. Faddal.
And it shows KA, Manchester, UK. Jazakumullahu khairan, Sheikh. Which part of the ear is wiped? Is the back included?
Which part of the ear is wiped? Inshallah ta'ala, you use your thumbs for the back of the ear and your index fingers for inside of the ear. Simple movement, just like that. That's it. Inshallah.
Initials MS, Gantino, Canada. Are sisters allowed to join Quran competition recitation?
I don't see anything wrong with a Quranic recitation competition for sisters. As far as with the opposite sex, it's a different story. Can a woman recite in front of a man? The nature of qira'ah is tazyin as-sawt, beautifying your voice. That's the nature of the recitation. Okay? So obviously there's a problem. A woman's voice, which isn't an aura, الصوت العادي, الصوت المعطر المزين تختلف. يعني المرأة لا تخاطب الرجل الأجنبي كما هي تخاطب زوجها في حال من أحوال تختلف. Okay, so now a woman is reciting the Quran in front of men who are her mahrams, even in front of her mahrams, but specifically non-mahrams, and she's intentionally beautifying her voice. Is a little bit of a what? An issue there. The nature of it is to what? Beautify it. So, obviously different scholars, they do it, they've done it, they allow it. They say it's the Quran, it is not like, she's just talking to these men. It's the book of Allah. Mumkin. And somebody else may also say what? غير ممكن. How she's sitting in front of this board, this judge of men, and they're listening to her beautiful recitation. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. She's sitting there. Allahu Alam. Hamza.
So can you visit a sick person when he's not talking, he's not moving, he looks basically dead?
As long as he's alive, you visit him. Rather you visit someone in a grave, you visit their grave. Wallahu Alam. Sajid.
Pertaining to the previous question with the ruqyah, how would you know if someone is a professional raqi?
Reputation is everything. Reputation is everything. You find someone online, you find someone in a masjid, first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask about them. You're going to look at the nature of their reputation, even through reviews. Like if you're looking for a restaurant on Google, or if you're on Amazon looking at the reviews, they have certified purchase, correct? Versus someone who didn't purchase the product. Someone who makes a video about the product, correct? It's not like someone who just types something. Someone who makes a detailed layout of their praise or criticism isn't like someone who says, trash, waste of money, don't buy it. So the proof is always going to be in the pudding. Who are the people praising this person? Who are the people saying that he benefited them? He ripped me off, so on and so forth. Reputation, inshallah ta'ala. There are always going to be signs through one's reputation. Wallahu alam. وإياكم.
And shows KA matches UK. After the Prophet Salah, is the first thing to be said the takbir or the istighfar?
Sorry?
After the Prophet Salah, is the first thing to be said the takbir?
It's optional. The takbir or the istighfar. What's important is the dhikr. Wallahu alam. Ahmed.
How does one work on their reputation and keep it intact without falling in love with people's opinions?
Well, I think the question is, and this will be our last question tonight, how does one work on their reputation without falling in love with people's opinions? I think a big part of this is one directional. And that is making sure that nothing violates or disparages your reputation. As far as good praise, acclaim, so on and so forth, don't think about that at the moment. But right now, I'm going to try to make sure no one can say nothing negative about me. They may not praise me, they may not say good things about me, but for sure they can't say I lied, I stole, I ripped them off, I was unprofessional, I abused, I. As far as the quality of the service, my talent, my skill, then don't necessarily focus on that too much. And once again, let your work prove it. So what people are going to say about you, they're going to say about you no matter what you try. Let the deeds speak. Let the actions speak. But make sure that you're working on preventing and protecting yourself from the negative stuff. And I think when you look at it like that, bidnillahi ta'ala, it helps you avoid falling in love with what naturally feels good. And that is for people to speak well of someone. That's natural. It's natural. Okay? People who say good things about you, who like you, who love you, who respect you, that's a natural thing. And some of that is good. Some of that is okay. But there's a limit to it. Like you said, you fall in love with it. Versus the natural way. Wallahu ta'ala alam. We'll stop here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan. Please don't forget, inshallah ta'ala, guys, to check out all of our websites, our social media platforms, Mufti, Mufti Q&A, Hadith Disciple Shop, Hadith Disciple _Disciple, eBay, and all of the different social media platforms with regards to our services and our products. And anyone who wishes to contact us or book or schedule private personal sessions, they can do so via Zoom at HadithDiscipleShop.com. Jazakumullahu khairan.